Sometimes when actors get cast as an iconic character, things don't exactly go so well.
It's been tried. A few guys even came close.
But sometimes they absolutely nail it and manage to revive the role completely. In this video, we're going to take a look at 15 times actors successfully revived iconic roles and made us forget there was ever anyone else who played them. Let's take a look. I just want to start this entry by saying I'm a huge 007 fan. And showing my age a little bit, Pierce Brosnan was the Bond I grew up with, so, I do have soft spots for him, and I think overall, he was a great Bond. But even I would admit that the franchise was getting a little bit, stagnant coming off of Die Another Day and needed a change of direction to continue to compete alongside the likes of the Bourne franchise and Mission Impossible. Enter Daniel Craig. When Craig was first cast, a lot of people were taken by surprise. I mean, a blonde Bond? Oh my. A lot of people favored the likes of Clive Owen, Ioan Gruffudd, and Ewan McGregor. But after Casino Royale dropped, the Craig casting quickly paid off with him bringing a dry wit, smooth charm, a big physical brawler presence, and piercing blue eyes that matched the grittier, more down-to-earth tone that the Brosnan movies kind of lacked. While the casting of Timothy Dalton was also a grittier approach to the character, Craig was more universally loved, and he breathed new life into the super sleuth and has set the mold for actors to follow. Another actor to revive an iconic role is Dame Judi Dench, who played the part of M almost perfectly. A pseudo-mother figure and the true Bond girl in Skyfall, Dench's wryness and overall badassery, is that a word? Made the character iconic. Dench, who played the character 8 times, including a brief appearance in Spectre, has made the character her own. And it's easy to forget that there were any other M actors, such as Bernard Lee, before Dame Judi. Ewan McGregor may not have had a chance to play Bond, yet at least, but he did have the opportunity to play another iconic character.
Hello there.
While the prequels, were a mixed bag to say the least, the less said the better. Almost everyone can agree that McGregor crushed it as Obi Wan. In fact, many hold his performance as highly as Alec Guinness's, and finally, after petitioning from fans for some time, McGregor will be playing the character once again in the upcoming Disney Plus series. And let's face it, who doesn't think of McGregor whenever someone says, "The High Ground," or "Hello there"? Like McGregor, Donald Glover did a great job of playing a classic and beloved character in the Star Wars world when he played Lando Calrissian in the Solo movie. While the Solo movie as a whole wasn't exactly well received, and there are some not so hot on Alden Ehrenreich's performance, people did at least love Glover as Lando. He did a great job at not just emulating Billy D. Williams, but also adding his own little childish Gambino flair and charm to the character, and was overall probably the best part of the movie. You'd be forgiven for firstly not knowing that Ocean's 11 is actually a remake and that George Clooney is not the first person to play the character of Danny Ocean. But if you did, kudos to you. In the 1960s movie, the classic swing singer Frank Sinatra played the role of Ocean. But it was another man with a sultry voice, George Clooney, that really made the role his own. But there was one character that Clooney didn't exactly master, and come on, that's Batman. Come on, just look at those bat nips! To be fair to Clooney, he wasn't helped by the content nor the horrendous suit, but Clooney still struggled to convincingly play the Caped Crusader. But in came Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale to save the day with Batman Begins and the subsequent Dark Knight trilogy, providing a grittier and more realistic version of the character in the same way Craig did for Bond. It's fair to say that Bale's acting ability and the emotion he brought was perfect for Nolan's interpretation of the character, especially when you pair it with this next person on the list. Of course, we're talking about the one and only Heath Ledger. Jack Nicholson had set the bar sky high for the role of the Joker, and when Ledger was cast for the part in The Dark Knight, he had his fair share of naysayers. But boy, oh boy, did he silence them quickly, with no one anticipating just how good Ledger would be for the role. While capturing the zaniness of the character, but also being a little more gritty, and even sometimes terrifying, he was the perfect counterpoint for Bale's Batman. Affleck may have done a great job as Batman, but one superhero he didn't exactly do so well was Daredevil. Thankfully, Charlie Cox, with the help of Vincent D'Onofrio and John Bernthal, helped us forget the abomination that was the 2003 movie and made us fall in love with the characters of Matt Murdock, Wilson Fisk, and Frank Castle once again. Unfortunately, fate can be a cruel mistress, and Netflix took the show away as quickly as they gave it to us, and they left us with some serious withdrawal symptoms. Like Glover, Zachary Quinto managed to perfectly walk the line between playing homage to the performance of Leonard Nimoy as Spock, but also providing his own qualities to make sure he wasn't a cheap carbon copy. Quinto's performance as the half-human, half-Vulcan felt organic, and he seemed to be right at home as the character. To be honest, when it came to Mad Max Fury Road, Tom Hardy didn't have to do a lot when stepping into Mel Gibson's shoes. I mean, he was riding Furiosa's road after all, but that worked emphatically in Hardy's favor, and his silent, stoic performance meant we didn't think twice that Hardy wasn't the original Mad Max. And he proved he's the best actor to perform consistently with his face pretty much half concealed the entire movie. The role of Sherlock Holmes has been played by many actors across the years, but no name is as synonymous with the role now, I feel like, as Benedict Cumberbatch, and for good reason. Since the first episode of Sherlock, Cumberbatch has perfected the role and has reinvigorated the character once and for all, alongside Martin Freeman as his trusty sidekick, of course, Watson. Mads Mikkelsen, Hannibal. Enough said. After Anthony Hopkins played the cannibal Hannibal in Silence of the Lambs, it was hard to imagine anyone would or even could do any better as the role. But while better might not be the right word, Mikkelsen came along and provided his soft-spoken and chilling performance as Lector. Also, I have full faith that Mikkelsen will successfully revive another role in the form of Grindelwald in the upcoming Fantastic Beasts movie. Julie Andrews may forever be Mary Poppins, but when Emily Blunt took over the character in Mary Poppins Returns, it was easy to forget she had been the character all along, and her confidence playing the character quickly brought the magical babysitter to life. Blunt's performance as Poppins was almost flawless, as she was just so damn charming. Like many on this list, Jeff Bridges did a great job of emulating John Wayne's performance as gunslinger Rooster Cogburn in the Coen Brothers' True Grit remake, but with Bridges being Bridges, he also managed to bring his own qualities and charm to the character, and in my mind, surpassed Wayne and provided a better performance. Although, I'm admittedly biased, as honestly I'm more of a Clint Eastwood fan than a Wayne fan myself. That's just me, guys. It's just me. Marlon Brando is the OG, original Godfather, and without his performance, the character wouldn't be nearly as iconic. So the actor who had to play the character of a young Vito Corleone in the Godfather sequel always had a mountain of a job filling in. Thankfully for Coppola, he had another one of the greatest actors of all time, Robert De Niro, and he crushed it as Don Corleone too. Finally, one actor, in my humble opinion anyways, who did not successfully revive an iconic role was Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka. Look, his Michael Jackson impression just always kind of came off as a little creepy, right? Gene Wilder is, and always will be, the one and only Willy Wonka.